It's Monday, which means it's time for GMBN race news, and let's take a look what happened over the weekend. So let's start with lycra-clad bike race presented by Shimano. Mathieu van der Poel was in absolutely stunning form throughout all three stages, and this allowed him to take victory in all three and of course the overall. The cyclocross world champion of Corendon Circus looks like he's absolutely at home aboard his Canyon mountain bike, and every rider, including the likes of Nina Schurter and co, need to be considering this man's form heading into next week's World Cup in Albstadt. Second place on the final stage went to Vlad Dascălu, who pushed Van der Poel right to the line but came up short. Impressive battle though. Overall, the rivalry for Van der Poel had come from Enrique Mochillo, who struggled to feature in the final stage but did just enough to stay ahead of Alejandro Gomez in the overall by just 26 seconds after 3 tough stages. In the elite women, Claudia Galicia proved to be the dominant force at the lycra-clad bike race presented by Shimano. The runner-up in the European Mountain Bike Marathon of 2017 and winner of all editions of this race managed to finish 7 minutes ahead of Norwegian Hildegunn Hodvenak, with whom she'd been battling within all 3 stages of this race. In the final stage, Hodvenak was second and Sandra Santignès of Olympia Factory Cycling came third. After this victory, Galicia achieved her 14th victory of the 15 stages run so far. Very impressive. She said after that she enjoyed the final stage, but also this had been the one that she'd suffered in the most. Anyway, winning today for the 5th time is great. I cannot ask for any more, said Galicia. Foy's another stop for the FMB World Tour and the second gold event of the season. This event was a magnet for some of the top slopestyle athletes from all 4 corners of the planet. Lucas Noft had the lead in the semi-finals and had his eyes on the prize. The best 12 riders from the semi-finals qualified to drop in at the prime time to battle it out for the vital FMB World Tour points and 2 available FMB wildcards for Crankworx Leger. So there's a lot up for grabs. But it all came down to the super finals, and the best 6 riders after 2 runs had an additional run to work out the winner. But this didn't pan out in the end due to windy conditions, unfortunately, so the riders put it all on the line for the win. In the end, it came down to Diego Cavasasi, the Italian rider, in 3rd place with a score of 83, Frenchman Thomas Lemoyne in 2nd with his crazy pants and a score of 85. First place goes to the American rider Nikolai Rogatkin with his incredible run scoring 86.55. Now on to the 3rd round of the Enduro World Series in south of France. Rocky Technical Trails welcomed the E.W.S racers to the new race venue in the south of France. It was a battle in the men's race between Richie Rude and Adrian Dei that came down to only a few seconds after 2 days of racing. It was eventually Richie Rude's first win since 2016. The young talented rider has been misfiring a bit for the last couple of years, but his speed has never been doubted. The similarly young Frenchman Adrian Dei pushed hard, and only 1 second separated the 2 riders going into the final stage. Sam Hill brought home a safe 6th place after commenting he just wasn't feeling it. The conditions were challenging, with the rain welcoming the riders to day 2 and super slippy gnarly rocks on a big day of riding. Mays, Nikolai and Oton were 3rd, 4th and 5th. Unfortunately, Jesse Melamed broke his collarbone, but with 6 weeks to the next round he should be able to ride. Other riders like Marco Osborne really struggled and had this big crash that actually severed his brake hose. Again, Cecile Ravenel was dominant. Another masterclass in the women's race. She's virtually unbeatable. Although she did give up 1 stage win to Ray Morrison, her first E.W.S stage win. Corderia crashed hard in practice but still rode to 2nd place, and Ines Thomas managed to get back on the podium with a 3rd place. Cecile Ravenel won by almost 3 minutes. Pure class. The Dachstein Salzkammergut Mountain Bike Grand Prix and UCI Junior Series XCO. With just a week to go before the next round of the World Cup in Albstadt, Germany, it was going to be insightful to see what happened in the Obertron for the Mountain Bike Grand Prix. The women's elite lineup was littered with podium riders for that World Cup, and it was Jana Bellamoina who came out on top in convincing fashion. The CST Sand American Eagle Pro rode off the front to take the finish line 2 minutes ahead of Ghost Factory's Barbara Benko, who worked well with Daniela Pion and Cliff's Eva Lechner. So Jana had time to win in form very well after a tough start to this year so far. However, bear in mind that both Pauline Ferrand-Prévot suffered an early mechanical and had to retire, and Maya Wojcicka had a puncture on the final lap and because of that dropped from the top 3 down to 6th. Both these riders will be hoping they've used up all the bad luck ahead of next week. In the men's race, it was Martin Liu with the win. Martin has been building great form over the first half of this year, and this win will confirm the racer who we've been seeing performing so well in the International d'Italia Series, which which is the current series leader after winning the most recent round. Here he was a minute ahead over Max Feudal and Thomas Lischner. The British National Downhill Series took place at Fort William at the weekend, and it's a great build up to the World Cup that's taking place there in just a couple of weeks. And Danny Hart took the win by almost 6 seconds from Greg Williamson. Third place went to Faustin Figueiredo. In the women's, Rachel Atherton showed her form again to take a win almost 6 seconds ahead of Tani Seagrave and Katie Curd in third place. That's it for this week's race news. Tune in next week for the full results from that Albstadt Cross Country World Cup, and see another couple of videos. Click over there for me training for the E.W.S race series, and over there for a speed versus style video. Give us a thumbs up if you love mountain bike racing.